All right, let's go and bring this home. We want to finish up the implementation of our To-Dos app. And the last thing for me to do is to go and create a class to represent the actual application. So let's go to the source folder, create a new file. We're going to call this one TodoApp.js. And so let's create a class, TodoApp. And here is what we want to do. Basically, we sort of want to implement the entire logic that we have in main.js, but of course some of it is already moved to the to-do class and some of it is moved to the TodoList class, but still the bulk of it will live in the TodoApp class. So let's just copy this whole thing and we're going to go here and dump it inside our TodoApp class. And there's going to be a lot of errors and syntax errors because this just doesn't make sense what we did. But we're going to go here and clean this up, right? In terms of having an array of to-dos, we want to do something similar. We will create like a private field to-do list. And let's go even create a constructor. And so this to-do list will be a new to-do list. There we go. This is the abstraction that we created before. The next to-do ID is part of the to-do class. The filter doesn't live anywhere and I decided that we're gonna keep it here. So let's bring filter here. And so we can go do something similar to this. Just bring it up here and say this dot filter all. And so all of this is already done. These operations are all part of the to-do list class, so we can get rid of all of this stuff. Okay, now here comes access to all the elements that we need. I'm gonna get all of this and drop them up in here as part of the constructor, and what's more, so I will make them to be private members of this TodoApp class. So let's do it this way, and then we gotta go and add every one of these up in here. All right, so maybe let's copy this quickly, bring it up here, get rid of this and get rid of it, get rid of this part, get rid of this part, and this and this, and also get rid of this operator. All right, and then we don't really need to instantiate the create to do app, but all of these functions I want to turn them into methods. So let's go here and so you can turn this to methods in one or two ways. You can do it this way, right, which is what I've shown you, or you can do it this way. This is acceptable too. So to keep this simpler, I'm just gonna grab these const out, and that way this just becomes a method. Okay, all right, now we have all these event listeners. We're gonna need to grab all of this and put all of them in the constructor as well. All right, so event listeners, and again we gotta put this operator behind them, and this last one actually I want to deal with it in the main file. And we're gonna need to do this here as well. So all of these event handlers, they exist in my class now. They're part of the members of the class, and I can make them private by putting a hashtag behind them, just the same way that you can make an attribute private. All right, so in fact all of these operations are internal to this class. Nobody from the outside needs to use them, perhaps maybe with the exception of render to do. So that one I'll keep public. And so let's see. Okay, let me quickly format this a little, so at least the syntax more or less is correct. So just for you to understand where I'm going with this, and I'm going to give myself a little bit more room so we can work with this better, easier. I'm going to export this. So export default TodoApp, and I'm gonna come to the main class, and what I have in mind is this. I'm gonna wipe all of this out, and then I'll do like when the content is loaded, then go and instantiate the TodoApp. So new TodoApp, and then render the to-dos. That's all. So this is what like I'm aiming for, right? So now like the main JS is super simple. Everything is abstracted, or the logic of the application is abstracted in the TodoApp, and then the TodoApp itself is sort of using other things like the to-do list, and the to-do list is using the to-do. So there's like this class composition that you can think about. TodoApp is made up of to-do list, and to-do list is made up of to-dos. All right, so now we're not done. We got to go and do some good cleanup. This needs to have a hashtag. Okay, let's carefully review this, and I imagine we may have to do this a few times. So this makes sense. This kind of makes sense. The hashtags are all here. Document and get all of these elements. The hashtags is all here. These are all the events, and then this and all the various event handlers. All right, so let's go and now take a look at the methods one by one. So this one, I don't see anything that I need to worry about. This seems to be fairly self-contained. So this looks good. This one looks good too. Create to-do items. All right, so here we go. We are using these two operations that are from our class, and we got to go and use the this keyword to access them. All right, and notice that as soon as I access them, they sort of got highlighted. They came to life. And so you can kind of see from the difference between the color, like this one is not really used anywhere, but these two are now used. All right, okay, so this otherwise seems okay. Let's take it out of the way. Render to-dos. Okay, a bunch of things we need to do. The to-do list is a field, so we have to access it like this. And then the TodoApp get to-dos. Well, that's actually the to-do. Hold on a second. To-do list and to-do list. This is not good. I got two to-do lists. Okay, so this one, I gotta rename it to maybe to-do list element, right? And gotta be careful to put this up here and put this down here. Okay, so right, be very careful with what we're doing here. To-do list. Okay, so this is the to-do list element, and now this one is going to be this dot hashtag to-do list. All right, so you get the to-dos, and when you get the to-dos, you need to give it the filter. So this dot hashtag filter. All right, so maybe I should clean this up a little by hitting enter. Okay, maybe put this there too. All right, so we say replace the children in the to-do list element by getting the to-dos from the to-do list and then mapping them using the create to-do. And this one also needs to be assigned like this. Okay. All right, and what about this one? There you go, another one. This hashtag to-do list, get number of active to-dos. Okay, that's not terrible. This seems to have been cleaned up. I may have to come back and look at it again. Let's put this on the next line, make this a little more concise. Update class list. So okay, this seems to be self-contained, no problem. Href array to-do navbar, that should be coming from the class that we have, right? To-do nav, yeah, that's to-do nav. So to-do nav, oh, wait a second. Active to-do count, isn't it this one? There you go. I've made a mistake already, right? This hashtag, there you go. Now this is colored correctly. Okay, full disclose. Update class was fun, render to-dos. So array from this to-do nav children for each update class list. That's going to be this hashtag update class list. Okay. Handle, this looks good now. Handle new to-do key down. This is fine. This is coming from here, so that's fine. Right. This is fine. Oh, here's the problem. This hashtag to-do list. Add a to-do, and you just need to add the to-do text. That's correct. New to-do value render to-do. Okay, this dot render to-do. Gotta be careful with that. Handle new to do key down looks good. Handle click on navbar takes this one out of its parameter. This is all fine. The set filter, we changed that, right? We just have like hashtag filters, so that's it. And then this dot render and this dot hashtag render to the navbar. Okay, and then we got handle click on to do list, so it takes this out of the event. This is fine, this is fine, it's just here, this dot hashtag to do list, toggle to do, and we do send the to do number, and this needs to be this dot render to do. Okay, let's go here, handle click on mark all completed, so we got to do this dot hashtag to do list mark all completed, and this dot render to dos. Last one, same story, this dot hashtag to do list and this dot render to dos. Okay, let's clean this up a little bit more. So let's do another round going from bottom up. Is clear rendered, that's a fairly simple logic. Again, a straightforward logic, this can go wrong. Handle click on to do list, works with its parameters. To do list toggle number this to do renders. Okay, seems correct. Get the tag name out of the event, updates the filter, renders the to do, renders this. All right, seems pretty straightforward. Handle new to do key down. Right, this looks correct to me. This is a small one, we got to be careful with these. Array from this to do nav children, for each of those elements update the class list. Okay, update class list, these are the class lists. This is fairly straightforward, it directly operates on the element. Okay, render to dos, again let's take a look at this. This might be a stinker again. This hashtag to do list element replace children, then we get these, right? Yeah, maybe we can bring this out, let's say to do items, and just put this here and then say to do items. This makes it a little less messy. Okay, the to do items, to get them we need to get the to dos after we filtered them. Oh, this looks a little scary to me. So I'm using this here, and I'm afraid when the map function wants to run, this keyword at that point does not correspond to like this object. It corresponds to the, well, the execution context of that function rather than this object. So I can bring this up and do something like this. So we're basically getting like a to do, and then we do this, and we can call this just like a, well, I can just make that a inline function there, right? And right now I don't even need. Okay, so this way for each to do it will call this function, and when it does it this way, because this is an arrow function, arrow functions don't have their own execution context, so this will be binded to the this of the class. All right, this is a more subtle point. This keyword doesn't work as straightforward as, for example, a language like Java. And the problem is that this keyword actually exists and it precedes the existence of class in JavaScript. So you have this keyword in functions, not just in classes, in functions. And JavaScript, the JavaScript engine and its runtime environment, it binds this keyword to the execution context of a function. So this point is highlighted more in the lecture notes if you want to go and take a look at it. Yeah, but I'm gonna leave it at that for now. But just to recap one more time, if I just like if I take this, let me copy it, and if I just do it this way, what happens is that this map, the function map, has its own execution context, and it tries to bind the this to the execution context of map, and that would not be the object, the instance of TodoApp. Here's another crazy way that you can fix it. You can do dot bind and then say this, and it would take this object and put this object for the this that is used in the map. All right, now before we lose our sanity, I'm gonna put my definition back because I think this is easier to understand. Yeah, I'm still a little worried that I may have not considered something somewhere in here, but anyways, we'll move from this for now. This just creates an element and then calls two other functions. Okay, all right, this looks very simple and straightforward. This looks also very simple and straightforward, just creates an element and returns it. All right, now we're in the constructor. We got all event listeners, we got our HTML elements, our fields. Okay, so let us go back to the app. We are ready to test this. I'm gonna open the console as well, and let's cross our finger that this is gonna work. Buy milk. All right, so far good sign. We got one item, buy bread, 2 items, buy jam, 3 items. Let's say we did get the bread. Okay, 2 items left. Filter, active is milk and jam, completed is bread. Go back to the all, clear completed. It got that thing out. Mark all as completed. Clear completed. Whoa, we got this. So the app is complete, and we got ourselves a object-oriented solution here. And so there is just one other thing you might want to do, but I'm not going to implement it here. I'm going to let you implement it. So what you can do is, there is this thing here, double click to edit a to-do, right? And this is the idea that when I do buy, for example, milk, and I double click on it, you want to be able to actually hide this and instead show the text area that we've been adding to this, the input area that we've been adding to this all along. If you remember, this was sort of the idea, right? We had an input area that was hidden. So you need to get hold of this element, the to-do edit. You need to get the hidden, remove it from this one, add it to this one, and then put up an event listener to this input, so that when you like hit enter, you type something and hit enter, you actually update the value of the to-do. That will require a number of changes across all the classes that you have. Like you need to allow, well, I suppose you have like a setter for text, so that is enough. You can use this, but you probably want to have an operation in a to-do list that updates the text of a to-do given its ID, right? And then you want to get hold of the proper elements and set up the proper event listener and all of that for this to work. Maybe I wrap this up by showing you one last thing. So this filter, it only is allowed to have these 3 values, right? Like these are the accepted values. And so if you want to have a construct that allows you to only select like one of these 3 values, you can do something like this. I mean, if you did something like Java, you know they have something called enum, and you can use that to create a enumerable object. But here you can do something like const, let's say filters, and go and give it like all, and this means all, and give it like active, and this means active, and give it completed. It means completed. And so what you can do now here, when you set it, you can go and say filter dot all, and that would be exactly the same thing. It just puts all in here, and now it's self-documenting. You don't need this anymore, right? So you probably want to like update where the filter is set here to also like maybe use one of these or validate and make sure it's not being set to something other than these options. Okay, awesome. I hope that you've enjoyed working on the To-Dos app.